Morning, I'm Phil Parker. I'm a designer and an explorer, but I don't explore jungles. I'm an explorer of the way the mind works, the way the brain works. That's my kind of speciality. And today I'm going to talk about my iPhone. For those of you who had iPhones, something you find becomes essential to everyday life. And there's loads of apps, some of which we use more and more commonly than others. What I'd like to do though is to ask you some basic questions if you have an iPhone, without looking at your iPhone, about some of the apps. So, what apps? Well, the first one I'd like to think about is the Google Maps app. As you look at the Google Maps app, in your mind, not on the phone, like I'm doing, there's a number on the icon of a highway. What number is it? I've seen it hundreds of times. Can you remember? If you check the weather, like I do, on that little icon there's a sun, and underneath there's a number. What is that number? It's a temperature. It's in degrees. The clock app tells a particular time. What is that time? Again, you must have seen it hundreds of times. The Safari app is a compass, but which direction is it pointing in? The calculator, what is that? What does that app look like? What are the arrangements of the symbols? And the contacts app, the icon for that, what does it look like? Draw it. Now do this of course without looking at your phone. Maybe pause this video and come back in a minute when you've done that. So how did you do? Well, the chances are you didn't get them all right. You might have done. But for most people, we spend so much of our time looking but not seeing, which is kind of interesting, because there we are looking at our phone real close up, touching it, and yet not being fully aware of what we're actually looking at. And this is an interesting function of the brain, whereby we perceive all the information, so all the light comes out from the phone into our retina, optic nerve, and into our visual processing centres. All the information goes in, and then some of it just gets excluded. It's not important, it's not significant, we've got other things to focus on. And this is a major part of brain function, in that the way our brain works is it's too busy, consciously at least, to be aware of all that information. It's not necessary for it. And so it shortcuts, just looks for the things it's looking for, which is great, but this can also cause us problems, because this means we tend to find what we're looking for. And this is the basis, unfortunately, of a lot of our beliefs. Now, beliefs are very, very significant in our lives, because if we believe we can do something, we're much more likely to achieve it. If we believe we can't, we're very unlikely to achieve it. I've worked with people who've done extraordinary things in their lives, and one thing you find is their beliefs fit what they want to achieve. So people who've walked across the Amazon knew they were going to be able to do it. People who've achieved extraordinary things in sports knew they were going to be able to do it. So our beliefs are very, very, very important. Coming back to our iPhone, if we have a belief that tells us the world is a certain way, then we will just look for information that supports that. And, much like the iPhone, will not see the things that we're not looking for. So what I recommend you do with this information about your iPhone and about the way we look at beliefs is to start to consider, to start to consider, are we looking for the things that are useful for us, or do we need to become more present for the things that will support us in where we want to be going in life? So, use your iPhones, come back soon.